The moment you broke your last promise to yourself, it was not a motivation problem. It was a design problem. Every person who seems effortlessly disciplined did not inherit stronger will. They built a system that makes discipline the biological default, not the daily battle. Today, 5 systems that rewire your brain so discipline stops being something you chase and starts being something you are. Most people believe discipline is a character trait. Science says otherwise. Your prefrontal cortex, the seat of self-control, operates on a finite energy budget. Every decision you resist, every impulse you override, every moment you choose the hard thing over the easy thing draws from the same metabolic reserve. By evening, that reserve is depleted. This is why you follow through at 7 a.m. and collapse at 10 p.m. It is not weakness. It is neurochemistry. The strongest people in any room did not arrive there through superhuman restraint. They arrived there by building a life where restraint is rarely required. They designed systems that run on dopamine, on myelin, on automaticity, systems that make discipline the path of least resistance. These are the 5 systems that construct that architecture. Number 1, train dopamine to expect reward from effort, not relief from escape. Most people use their dopamine system against themselves. They reach for the phone, the snack, the distraction, and the brain learns. Relief feels good. Avoid discomfort, get reward. This loop is not a personality flaw. It is conditioning. But dopamine is trainable. When you start your day with deliberate discomfort, your brain begins to associate effort with reward. Over weeks, the rewiring changes everything. You stop needing motivation to do hard things because your neurochemistry now expects the payoff on the other side of effort. Strong people do not fight their dopamine system. They retrain it. Start with one hard thing before 9 a.m. Not massive, non-negotiable. A cold shower, a training session, 20 minutes of focused work without your phone. Let your brain learn that discomfort is the signal that reward is coming. Number 2, build identity before you build behaviors. Most people set goals. Fewer people shift identity. The difference is not semantic, it is neurological. When you tell yourself I want to exercise more, the brain files this under optional, a preference, a goal you can abandon without consequence. When you tell yourself I am someone who trains, the brain files this under self-concept, a truth you defend. Every action you take is a vote for the person you believe yourself to be. Every skipped session casts a vote for the version of you that lets things slide. Every completed session casts a vote for the version of you that keeps promises. You are not building habits. You are running an election inside your own mind. Ask yourself this question once and let it govern everything that follows. Not should I do this? The answer to that question is always negotiable. Ask, does the person I am becoming do this? The answer becomes immediate. Identity is not discovered. It is constructed one vote at a time. Number 3, constrain your future self before they have a chance to negotiate. This is the system most self-discipline advice ignores entirely. Its absence is the reason most transformations fail. Your brain at 6 a.m. and your brain at 6 p.m. are not the same brain. Morning you has cognitive resources. Evening you has depletion, rationalization, and a deep desire for comfort. If you leave the decision to evening you will choose wrong. Not because evening you is weak, because evening you is human. The solution is to use morning you to make the decision irreversible. Before evening you gets a say. This is called a commitment device. You sign up for the program before you feel ready. You book the session before motivation arrives. You tell someone whose opinion matters what you are going to do. You put money on the line. You make the cost of quitting higher than the cost of following through. Strong people do not trust their future mood. They constrain it. The specifics are secondary. The principle is not. Decide now when your judgment is intact. Make future backsliding expensive, financially, socially, or both. If this framework is landing, stay with it. What follows is the element that separates temporary discipline from permanent transformation. Most people skip it entirely. Number 4, design your environment so the right choice is the easiest choice. Your behavior is not a product of your intentions. It is a product of your surroundings. The person who leaves their training gear by the door trains more consistently than the person who has to find it first. The person who removes junk food from the kitchen eats better than the person who relies on willpower to resist it. The person who puts their phone in another room during deep work focuses longer than the person who trusts themselves to ignore the notifications. Remove friction from what you want to do. Add friction to what you want to stop doing. Every unnecessary step between you and the right action is a failure point. Every barrier between you and the wrong action is a rescue. You are not fighting temptation. You are eliminating the need to fight. Number 5, plan your recovery before you plan your performance. You will break the streak. You will miss the day. You will choose comfort over discipline at some point. This is not a question of character. It is a question of when. The person who recovers immediately loses almost nothing. One missed session becomes a data point, not a collapse. The person with no recovery plan loses everything because one break becomes 2. 2 becomes a week, and the week becomes a permanent return to the person you were before you started. Write down exactly what you will do when you fail. One sentence. When I miss a day, I will blank. Fill it in now, before the failure arrives, while your mind is clear and your intent is solid. Then, when you actually miss, There is no decision to make, no spiral, no negotiation. You execute the reset and you move forward. The reset plan is not a consolation prize. It is the load-bearing structure of long-term discipline. Without it, every system before this one eventually collapses. Here's what changes when all 5 systems are running together. You stop waking up wondering if you have enough willpower for the day. You stop negotiating with yourself at 5 p.m. about whether you are going to train. You stop needing motivation to do the things you said you would do. The systems run the discipline. You just execute. And slowly, then suddenly, your identity shifts. You stop being someone who is trying to be disciplined. You become someone who is. Not because you developed superhuman self-control, because you built a life where discipline is the default setting. Train your dopamine. Anchor your identity. Constrain your future self. Design your environment. Build your recovery ritual. These 5 systems do not require talent, luck, or a personality transplant. They require deliberate construction. Strength is not inherited. It is constructed one small deliberate choice at a time. Start today.